Welcome, dear audience, to This Week in Clown World, the video series dedicated to reliving the events of the simulation because yes, it really happened, and no, we weren't dreaming. Well, what a week it has been, and just when you thought, right, well, it's mid-April now, and surely I must be running out of stories, you know, because the clowning cannot go on, but my god, it did! Therefore, we must continue. So like always, we must begin our journeys at the heart of clowns, the Soviet Kingdom, because it just never ends here. Now, a lot of you people by now may have caught wind that the Soviet government are a little bit odd. And by that I mean, if you say hurty words on the internet and someone gets offended because we have systematically bred a bunch of utter crybabies, you will go to prison. And recently it turns out that that is not the only thing that will get you sent down to 25 days to life in Belmarsh prison. Because, and I cannot believe this is a thing, but if you have kids and you want them to do their homework instead of watching funny cat videos on the internet, and you also do parental root cause analysis, and the reason for their distraction is their iPads, you've just got to take them away for a period of time so they can catch up with all their schoolwork. But in the weak men phase of the cycle, this is in fact a hate crime. Yes, it turns out disciplining your children by confiscation can indeed spark a police response that results in actual arrests and time spent in prison. And you'll be thinking, right, there is probably more to this story than meets the eye, because all the media do is sensationalism instead of actual journalism. And you would be right. Although not by much, because having read beyond the headline, it looks like the dad, who I assume is divorced from naughty mummy, was very annoyed that she took the iPads and then contacted the police and then they came and arrested her for it. What? I mean, we have a massive knife problem and money laundering fronts blighting every high street and of course imported gang grapers. And this is the shite that our taxes go on. No wonder everyone thinks this shite hole is a joke. But when all hope is lost and you're about to give up, there is always something that will definitely save us from the clown world that we have continuously voted for and will vote for again in the next election. Yes, that's right, audience. Ensuring that hiring police officers, the very people who arrest you for criticizing schools on the internet, aren't dirty, dirty white people, because that's illegal, and why would you hire Whitey McWhiteface in a country where the ancestors were all sub-Saharan Africans? Come on now, guys, they built Stonehenge now, didn't they? Very cool. And for all those who don't live in a socialist kingdom, over here in the international embarrassment, there are legit laws that state you cannot discriminate against races, as that is a dick move. But somehow, when it's happening to the indigenous population, absolutely no one cares and no one gets fined. And they wonder why the talent are getting the absolute fuck out of this country. Well, hopefully it all sinks to the bottom of the fucking ocean, because that is where the socialist kingdom belongs now. Alright, so not only are people now getting arrested for parenting their children, but we also legit have systemic racism. You know, that term the goons were using to try and gaslight people into supporting BLM, when the truth was, it was the entire wrong victim class. Well, what else is going on then? Oh lordy lordy, I cannot believe I'm about to have to say this, but ladies and gentlemen, they have found another one and he was hiding out in Parliament. It's like that place is absolutely chock-a-block with them. Because just when we thought we were about done with the people in our government being dirty, dirty nonces, oh boy, they just won't stop touching the children, the dirty PDF files. Because it turns out a little MP by the name of Dan Norris has allegedly been doing the no touching this entire time on children. My god, what a revelation. That means we have to allegedly add another name to that list of Labour Party nonsense. I am shook, I tell you. Absolutely shook. Also, we need more wood chippers. Alright then, well at least in these once fine lands, women's professional pool can still be safe from the clown world, right? You know, a bunch of birthing persons getting together, pulling out their throbbing sticks and then hitting some balls. Fun times, what could go wrong? But wait a minute, am I sensing a disproportionate amount of balls currently at that table, therefore violating the rules? Yes, the patriarchy strikes again, because in the plight of women's rights, we must forcefully bully everyone into accepting all those men who think they're women into their sports just so they can beat them at their own game. And as a professional misogynist, I could not agree more. Men should be in women's sports because we have really, really big brains, and if the birthing persons complain, then we just hit them with a hate hate crime. It's genius, and only a man could think of a plan like that. Meanwhile, on the stock exchange, all those doomsters were completely wrong big time, and there was no Black Monday. You know, the giant stonk implosion because the orange man put tariffs on countries who have bigger tariffs on them. So basically, everyone had a big old meltdown about it, and they were running really scared away. And I personally don't care. As a matter of fact, I want a huge stonk crash because that will mean we can all go out and buy those really big companies at very low prices, and when the market recovers, my God, we have even more money. As Warren Chicken Nugget Buffett said, stonk go up, stonk go down. It's the way of life. But what I love about this market turmoil is the sudden shift in the narrative by the cultists who take their orders from rich people even though they hate them. You know, the people who read that the system is unfair, but as soon as a multi-millionaire called Chuck Schumer tells them to go protest to Tesla and stop the government audits, my God, they are there protesting the Teslas. Well, it turns out they really care about all those rich people now and the capitalist machine. All because Trump derangement syndrome makes people big mad and somehow also moralless. I mean, come on, for years all we've heard is all the companies care about is the stonk price and paying all their shareholders, even though they're legally required to do so. And as soon as the market goes down, they're all ringing, why won't somebody please think of the shareholders? Well, I definitely thank them for their concern, but I don't care. Although I do expect a bear market for a while now, and actually that's quite a good thing. You can buy all the Amazons at the low cut prices. And also, some things were getting quite a bit expensive, so the crash was coming regardless. And this comes on a backdrop of the global Trump protests. The protest that protested so hard that there would never be a protest like this ever again. Well, that's completely gonna stop the Orange administration in its tracks. Yeah, not likely. I just can't understand these people. Everyone knows they don't like Trump. Everyone can see that by the lack of B12 and the telltale signs of a nightly pegging. But when they come out protesting with their little flags and placards, do they honestly think Trump is gonna take a look at that and go, well, a lot of people voted for me, but these very feminine men didn't. They actually hate me, so I better go quit my job. Get the fuck out of here. And the worst thing is about it is that they held the protest also in London. Like that is gonna do something. No one cares what the sweaty unwashed of London think. It's literally little Somalia these days. And why are they bringing Musk into it? He has got nothing to do with the UK. They need to get a real job. And while they're having their crying meltdowns in the real world, Trump's plan is starting to work. Countries are now looking to renegotiate trade terms with the US, and with Trump pausing the tariffs for a period of time, while it all gets worked out, the market is recovering. Although again, there is a real risk of a prolonged bear market as investors get spooked and macro data continues to get revised down. You know, like when I had almost 900,000 non-farm jobs just magically disappear because they never existed. And the only reason that the labour market was in a positive territory was because of government hiring, not the private sector. And while everyone is scared, suddenly a helicopter just straight up disintegrated and crashed into the Hudson River. And for that, there is no clown world about it. An entire family got wiped out. Pretty damn sad. But not far away in DC, two planes tapped their wings while saying no homo. And even though that happens in airports across the world, like a couple of months ago it happened in Heathrow, when it happens in the United States of America, it is not the fault of the pilots for failing to keep a safe distance between each other or the ground staff directing the planes. It is in fact the orange man's doing completely because he defunded trans operas across the world, and that means planes are now colliding. Jesus Christ, this utter mongery is getting too much. Like every little oops-a-daisy is now an orange-induced event. The Trump-led firings of useless government employees ain't getting rid of the actual workers who provide a key service, like the air traffic controllers. How many times do you have to tell them they're just getting rid of the shite, and by getting rid of the shite, you all pay less taxes? And talking of getting rid of shite, weirdest story I have come across in the entire 2020s where the simulation is definitely breaking at a surprising speed. Yes, the great state of Missouri went full on Florida man with this one, although it's actually a woman. Same thing really, isn't it? Gender is just a social construct, bro. Well, it turns out after she fostered many children and even adopted a couple, mysteriously, one went missing. Just straight up, no longer there. And people are asking, where is the child? Is she under the stairs? In the garden? Literally no one knows, but what they do suspect is she was traded for a monkey. What the fuck? Yeah, so she's now under arrest and also charged with multiple counts of child neglect. The simulation, it is breaking at breakneck speed. Also, I saw no reference to where is this monkey now. Also, shite talk aside, I really do hope they find that girl and she's all safe and all that. And now we come to the final act of this week in Clown World. The O.J. Simpson part of the simulation where we all gather around the fireplace and tell stories of how if you have melanin in your skin, then you didn't do nothing. Yeah, so over in the great state of Texas at a track day where all the athletes got to do athlete things, someone who didn't do nothing was in the wrong tent on purpose and when asked to leave, didn't. So was then pushed to get out and then Stabby McStab-stabbed a 17-year-old who is now dead. And most adults with half a brain cell would be thinking to themselves, right, first, this is some London level shit. Second, why did that kid bring a knife to a track day? Third, someone's gonna have to come up with a really convincing case on how this could be self-defense. Because I know over in Yeehaw land you're allowed to do things to protect yourself with force. Unlike in the socialist Europe where you're the one getting arrested for defending. We're not even allowed pepper spray. But please, can we have some more unvetted boat people? Nah, away from the socialist lands, there are rules on what constitutes a self-defense. Number A, you can't instigate it. So if you're freeloading in a place that you're not meant to be in and you're asked to leave, you probably should just leave. And number B, according to police reports, the boy who didn't do nothing was actually egging on the fight before he pulled the knife. And then we come to number C. The response has to be proportionate to the danger. And getting pushed out of a tent on school property ain't exactly the Ukrainian front lines now, is it? So with that said and done, why the utter clown world fuck are people raising money for a damn murderer suspect? What the fuck is going on here? Oh well, no doubt he'll get away with it and give it a decade or so and he'll release his autobiography blaming systemic racism or some shite. Big shout out to all my Patreon boys and guys. Every night I dream of us getting sent to gulags for committing hate crimes. Love you all very much, Ling.
Subscribe button.
Is always right.